For the 31st question on the second ACT practice test, 2 hoses are used to fill the pool. Twice as many gallons of water per minute flow through one of the hoses as through the other. Both hoses had been on for 12 hours and had filled the pool to the 4-foot mark when the hose with the faster flow stopped working. The hose with the slower flow then finished filling the pool to the 5-foot mark. Which of the following graphs shows the relationship between the time spent filling the pool and the height of the water in the pool? So let's make a quick sketch of what's actually going on here. So we know that we're filling the pool with 2 hoses, and this bottom axis, this is the time, and this top axis here, typically the y-axis, we can call this the height or the depth that the water is filled to. So we know that there are 2 hoses filling the pool with water, and it was at the 12-hour mark that the hose with the faster flow, or the hose that's pumping twice as many gallons per minute, that hose stops working. So at this time, and at this point we're also at the 4 feet mark for the depth of the pool water, but at this 12-hour mark, then only the slower filling hose is working. So you can imagine that for these first 12 hours, the pool is just gradually filling up at the same rate. So it might look something like this. But once it reaches this point, now one of the hoses stops working, and it just happens to be the hose that's pumping water twice as fast. So if you can imagine the slower hose pumping 1 gallon of water per minute, and the faster hose pumping 2 gallons of water per minute, then when the faster one is turned off, it goes from having a flow of 3 gallons per minute to a flow of only 1 gallon per minute. So it's now going to fill at 1/3 of the rate. So essentially this slope here on the next line as the time goes on, that slope's going to be only 1/3 of the slope of this line. So let's draw that line. And it might look something like this, where it stops filling, that's the 5-foot mark. So now that we have an idea for what's going on here, let's look at our possible answer choices. The question asks us, which of the following graphs shows the relationship between the time spent filling the pool and the height of the water in the pool? So we just have to find a graph that looks like this. And there's only one choice that looks like that. Graph letter E. And just to double check, you can see that for a while the rate is consistent, but when it reaches a certain point, the rate decreases significantly and carries on filling. So choice E would be our final answer.